Welcome back, everybody. Join us today as the Tin Can Twosome takes you to Shaver Lake. Despite her name, she's actually more of a reservoir. In fact, that's exactly what she is, in the Sierra National Forest of Fresno County, California. More on that later, but first, let's get settled in at Dorabelle Campground, one of the two that we have stayed at Shaver Lake. Like a lot of campgrounds, there's a fire pit, there's a picnic table, and this particular one also has bear boxes. Here we are setting up our tent, and this is our last time with this tent. We have been using her for decades, and she has been a great tent, a 5-person tent, because I happen to like having a lot of space. It works perfectly for 2 air mattresses, and we use our tubs as tables. She's been a good, loyal tent, and I will miss her. Our next one is a little bit smaller, but also a little bit newer.
Okay, it turns out this is self-inflating, and there's deflate and inflate. And it's got this plug, which I didn't know about, and I'm glad we brought our Jackery because we have AC power.
Yep.
Which we wouldn't have had otherwise.
Gotta have that power source. Isn't she beautiful? I make sure I have all the comforts of home with me. I really liked our site, number 22. Very spacious and very shady.
Welcome everyone to Shaver Lake, one of our favorite places. It's a wonderful place for summer stuff because it's at a higher elevation, so it's a little bit cooler. The highs will be in the 70s today, and I can't tell you how much we're looking forward to it. We're going to go for a hike to a waterfall. We might check out some hot springs. We're just going to have a great time at Shaver Lake.
The water is nice and warm, they tell me. It's not ice cold, it's not hot, it's like perfect. Once you get in, apparently you just want to stay in. We've got a whole bunch of plans today. First of all, we had our coffee and our toast at our picnic site, and we love our picnic site, tons of shade. And then now we're at the lake just checking her out. We're gonna go kayaking while we're here, and we also have plans to drive over the mountain to another lake where there's a trail to a waterfall. It's a short trail, just like 1.6 miles round trip, so that's perfect. We also would like to find the hot springs. We've been there before, and they are fantastic for just relaxing in. I remember from the last time, I don't know if it's still there, I hope it is, we found this huge trough, and it's big enough for a person to sit in. In fact, I'm trying to remember, but I think maybe 2 people could sit, one on each end in that trough, and it's got a faucet that's pouring the hot spring water into the trough, and it's like this really big metal thing, you know? Anyway, we would love to find that again if we can, and enjoy that after our hike. So it's going to be an amazing day, and we are happy to have you along. See you on the trail. We had the chance to hike to Rancheria Falls, which is 5 miles east of Shaver Lake. It's a curvy drive to get there, but it's worth it, trust me. The waterfall is in the Sierra Nevada mountains, at an elevation of around 7,000 feet. The trailhead is located off Highway 168. It's a short but rough road to get there. What's the elevation?
7,600 feet at the trailhead.
The hike to Rancheria Falls is approximately 2.5 miles round trip, making it a relatively short and manageable hike for most people. The trail is considered easy to moderate, with a well-maintained path that winds through the forest. There are some gentle inclines, but the hike is generally suitable for families and hikers of all skill levels. The scenery is absolutely beautiful. There's a surrounding forest with a mix of pine, fir, and cedar trees. Rancheria Falls is a cascading waterfall with water tumbling down a series of granite steps and boulders. The waterfall is particularly impressive in the spring and early summer, when the snow melt from higher elevations increases the flow. The falls drop into a clear, cool pool, a refreshing spot to relax and take in the view. It was time to head back, but something just as good, but just a little different, was waiting for us. Mono Hot Springs, at an elevation of about 6,500 feet, approximately 20 miles northeast of Huntington Lake, and 40 miles from the town of Shaver Lake. The drive there is stunning, but the road is absolutely treacherous. It's only wide enough for one vehicle, so if another one comes your way, you have to pull off to the side and hope you don't go down the cliff. When you see this bridge, you're there. The main attraction of Mono Hot Springs is, of course, its natural hot springs, which are scattered along the San Joaquin River. There are several hot springs in the area, each with its own temperature and setting. Some of the hot springs are developed with rock-lined pools, while others remain in a more natural state. The hot springs range in temperature from warm to very hot, offering a soothing and therapeutic experience. But because it was a really hot day, a dive into the river was a must. And yes, it's ice cold. The river has a really strong current, and a lot of people like to go tubing down the river. Unfortunately, the tub we were looking for was dry. But we did find another in-the-ground hot spring, number 13, where we all got in and enjoyed ourselves. David wandered off by himself and found a really nice tub to enjoy. This is a nice illustration of how hot springs work. The higher the pool, the hotter the water. The lower the pool and the closer to the river, the more ice cold it becomes. That night after dinner, we all sat around the campfire and solved all the world's problems. Honestly, we've tried just about everything. But the best way for us to make coffee is with a good old-fashioned percolator. Okay, back to Shaver Lake. The lake was created in 1927 when the Southern California Edison Company built the Shaver Lake Dam as part of its Big Creek hydroelectric project. The reservoir stores water for hydroelectric power, which is then used to supply electricity to Southern California. But enough of the details. As you can see, the water is blue and quite clear, absolutely the perfect temperature when we were there. There are wonderful big rocks to dive off of. People love to go kayaking there, sailing, jet skiing, fishing, tubing, you name it. Every single pleasurable water sport you can imagine, you can do there. As I said before, it's actually a reservoir. It sits at an elevation of about 5,500 feet and covers approximately 2,177 acres. Hiking is also something that many people enjoy near Shaver Lake. I'll name a few here for you. Shaver Lake Shoreline Trail, approximately 5 miles round trip. Dinky Lakes Wilderness, that varies from 5 to 20 miles depending on the route. Bald Mountain Trail, 4.2 miles round trip. Sierra Vista Scenic Byway Trails, lots of different distances, and so on. But our favorite is definitely to be in the water. And let's be honest, where else can you go swimming with the ducks? And we couldn't let this day go by without using our inflatable 2-man kayak and kayaking to a small island we've been to before. It's adorable. Dang, I love this man. Our friends had to go home, but we had one more night. So we spent it the best way we could, lazing around with a good book, grilling up some burgers for dinner, and just enjoying being out in nature. We don't get to do that enough, and every single time we get to breathe the fresh air, we feel so blessed. Thanks so much for coming along with us to Shaver Lake. We hope you enjoyed the views as much as we did. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel, click that bell for notifications, like the video, and please share this with your friends. We'll see you on the next adventure.